Good evening, one and all. We're going to be having a very
Casual stream.
a very casual stream, as normal. But today we are starting with animation. I have figured out how to get around the quirks of Windows 11. So I'm going to be trying to get a ways on this. We'll do this for about an hour and a half, and then we're going to transition over to games. So let me set up something right now. And start that. Okay. Off to the races. So, one of the problems that I had for quite a while with this new setup that I have is that I have not been able to touch Blender without it kind of breaking on me. Now, if you are familiar with Blender, you know the importance of having Alt-G or Alt-R, Alt-S. Those are the reset transform controls. So if you have an animation that is taking place and you have a character that has to reset to their default pose, you have to be able to press Alt-R. Now, NVIDIA, in their infinite wisdom, they decided that Alt-R looks like a really good button combo to force upon users, but only on Windows 11, not Windows 10. So you cannot override it. And it is very, very obnoxious. There are other hotkeys like that too, but I finally figured out how to do it. So this is the secret. You want to reset your transforms? Rather than press Alt-R, add it to quick favorites. It's less effort to actually do it this way, and you solve the problem. So anyway, we're going to be proceeding with this for a little while, and we will see how far that we get. Of course, the program decides to freeze up on me the moment that I actually decide that it's time to legitimately begin. This is new, so it makes me wonder if there's something running in the background. Which is, yep, that was it. Steam. Golly, Steam is awful on Windows 11. I have never had so many problems with Steam until Windows 11. All right, here we go. By the way, this will be the last of the simple animations. Everything after this has story of some kind. By the way, this process of blocking out the animation is one of the most disheartening ones because it doesn't look like you want it to. And you know that, well, it's just not going to look good for a little while longer. But this is the point of where once you get one shot done, it all will start to come together. So right now, my main focus is to get one of these shots animated to its completion only one of them, and then use that as the tool in which I'm going to, well, the reference guide that I'm going to use for the animation moving forward. Hey, greetings, North Carolina native and Raquel. Sorry I'm late. I was playing Sea of Thieves with some feminists earlier. Their ship was called the SS Minnow. Oh, my. And also greetings to Raquel. Word on the street says that the first feminist president will put what? Lorna Bobbitt on the $100 bill. Lorena Bob, I have no idea who that is. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, my. Well, that is indeed interesting. I was just done playing Elder Scrolls Online. Ah, very nice. I have not done that game before, but I have seen many people play it. What are your thoughts on that, Raquel? Is it a yay sort of game? Something you endorse and think others should try? Or is that kind of a no-go? I think I'm going to do... That one's too short. We'll do this one right here because this one's like mostly done. Let's do this one. It's the very start, and it is the easier of them to do, but not the easiest. All right, he's dreaming, and I did get the tongue rigged, so it is now operational. It's just not a high-quality tongue. So, question is, does something get sucked into his mouth that causes this, or is it something else? Yep, something's got to go into his mouth. It's enjoyable, and I think everyone should try playing the game. Indeed. I can be mean and funny at the same time, says North Carolina native. Ain't that the truth? Ever since I named my whip Joke, so whenever I crack a joke, well, I will remember not to allow you to get within like 20, 30 feet of me then. You don't want to, somehow get whipped. I mean, get joked. It is finally, after months, finally summer in Alaska. And to think that like a little less than 2 weeks ago, I got a little bit of frostbite on my nose. That was because I was on the Arctic Ocean. So, of course, it's going to be a little bit more of an issue for that. But besides the point, I was just in cold temperatures, and then I got swapped over to hot temperatures down here of a sweltering 75 degrees. Yep, sweltering. Hey, greetings there, Wolfie. How are you doing? How go your various projects? Let's have a little piece of dirt fall down. But the question is, does it come from the boat that's going to be hovering above, or will it be something else? For now, we'll just have it as a just generic sphere. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So that way people get the idea with the blocking. So we're going to come to right here, and this is the point that it goes in. Okay, goes on. Goes on in, and then back here, we're going to bring it on out and raise it up there. So now, in theory, okay, yep, that works. Do we finally find Nemo? You know what? This ain't a clownfish, so I think that we might be still looking for Nemo. I might search at the nearest pet store. I think I saw Nemo floating around in one of the tanks. Don't let your cat near it. Going good just popped in to say hi. Indeed. The golly, just saying, I get that horrible buzzing that's happening again. There we go. Captain Nemo, right? Well, that's the Nemo that I was raised with. I don't know about the silly clownfish character. For those that did not see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, it was definitely in the Disney classics. Very, very good film. By the way, Rico, how are you doing? How goes the new job, and how is the family? 1 second, internet issues. We can't wait 1 second. Too late. 1 second has already passed. You never know, says Raquel. You know, if you've not heard Finding Nemo the musical, I think it's better than the movie. The movie kind of lacks some important moments that only really comes out in music. And the film failed in that. Disney was trying to experiment with having no music whatsoever. And I think they suffered from it. It could have been so good if they had gone with the Finding Nemo the musical as the baseline for the film. All right, so now we're going to come to this head falling back on the sand. It's not easing in correctly. So I believe it is this one right here. By the way, just a reminder, I am terrible when it comes to animation. I really, really wanted to be good at it. It was not so. I was not able to really master it the way that I wanted, especially early on. And honestly, it's probably for the best. Not that I wouldn't have liked to have been able to do animation, but gave me a chance to learn new crafts that otherwise I would not have had the time to really dabble in. Okay, so now we have a little bit more of a hard hit here. That might be too hard of a hit. Soften it up. By the way, folks, how's the start to the summer? Well, I guess it's kind of almost midsummer But how's the summer been going for you all? One of the best parts of Alaskan summers is that right now it is just perfect weather for being outside. It is windy. There's not a whole lot of bugs. It's beautiful sunny weather. Sun stays up a long time. That sort of stuff. Yeah, I think I maybe was wrong for trying to do that. I think because of water, it should have some sort of ease out, but nothing too severe. Okay, let's just really ease it out. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I know what's going on. It's happening too fast. There we go. I think that's going to be better. Papa Enrico says, I'm back. Indeed. Wolfie says, when you take a look at the short little jingle animation that I did, love to hear your feedback. Jingle animation, which one in particular? It's been kind of hot in North Carolina the past few days, but that's more normal than not. Well, you can keep that hot weather down there. I will not try and take that away from you. Let's see here. When this happens, his back is a little too static. Let us go back and rotate all of these here. Let's make sure that we're on individual. So we come here, he breathes in, and then they're going to all come up, kind of flare up. Reset rotations. And that. Let's see how that does. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, that's what's happening. It's resetting. So let us bring that on over. And let us go to here. Second. Okay. So now let's zoom on into here. Let's look at it from here. Goes in. It's going to be a bit of a fast motion here. So right when he brings his head up to there, that's when the fin needs to be up in position, but not all of it, because that is intersecting with the eyes. So we're going to bring this one back and bring this one back. Okay, that was better. Still could be a little bit faster. Oh, there we go. And now let's duplicate this and bring it on over. So that way it does a bit of a faster one and then sneeze. Chore tasks I picked up a few weeks ago. New app I'm working on. I guess I'm closer to 2 weeks ago. 11 days. Did that fish just sneeze? I mean, technically, we're going to say that it's more of a gag because, you're underwater. You can't really sneeze. So right now what we're doing here is that this got caught in his gills. And so he's trying to get it out. And so technically, it's not going to come out of his mouth. It's technically going to come out of his gills. So maybe that will be part of the gag there. No, it's not much of a gag. I know. It's poor logic for a very simple animation in order to test the rig. That's what it is. I'll trade you some mugginess for a burst of cold air. You know, if I could bottle that cold air, I would sell it to you at a premium of $50 a bottle. It'll be a pressurized air bottle. You'll put your face towards it and you'll squeeze it and it'll pop and it'll just burst into your face and you'll say, ah, a breath of the Arctic. And it'll be gone in like half a second. But yeah, share the link, Wolfie, and I'll take a look at that. By the way, I did get to see a little bit of wildlife when I was up in the Arctic recently. And one of the creatures that I got to see that I've not seen before was an Arctic fox. Now, I'm not a fan of Arctic foxes. I really think that they're one of the worst fox species out there. Oh, but they look so cute. They're white. They're fluffy. They're also known cannibals. They are not nice foxes. So yeah, I would prefer to not have to deal with the Arctic foxes, but I did get to see one this time. All right, we need a little bit more of a pause right here. So let's grab all of these, and we're going to extend that on out. There we go. That looks much better. Did you at least... What the heck? No, Rico, we do not eat the foxes. Foxes are a good way to get rabies. Arctic foxes, in particular, are known to get the horrible, dangerous rabies. Very dangerous. Didn't see the particle. It was so tiny, the particle just went past your eyes. You needed to pull up a microscope to see it. Okie dokie, so let me see here. How do I change this between PCs? Okay. Let me take a look at how to pull this off. Even the baby's got rabies. Maybe not entirely, but it does have one of the highest concentrations of rabies in an animal. If you see a fox, there's a very high chance that it has some rabies with it. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to come over here and then press onto notes. And paste it in here. Is that going to work? Nope. That did not work. All right, let me see here. Almost got this squared away. I needed my notes. Okay, there we go. Now that is operational. Okay, I'm going to turn down the Silverado for just a moment. We're going to take a look at what Wolfie has made. Let's see here. All right, bring up the audio here. Yeah, Discord's the easier one to post it because then I don't have to do the jumping in between. Because right now I'm on 2 PCs now. That is the big change for the last couple of weeks. I have a new setup because I'm in the process of trying to upgrade to Linux, and I needed a backup PC for all this stuff. So now I decided to go two directions. Okay, chore task, people helping people. Let us see what it is that Wolfie has made. Do I have the audio from there right now? Should be operational.
Chore task, chore task, chore task.
Get it done.
Chore task,
Chore task, chore task, chore task. Get it done.
chore task. Need a hand?
Chore task. Got a job.
Chore task. Big or small? Chore task.
One and all.
Chore task. Grass too high, fence gon' slack. Boxes in the hallway stacked to the back. Sink got a drip, leaves in a pile. Need one good hand for a little while. Move that couch, clear that room, sweep that porch, make that broom go.
Chore task, chore task. Get it done.
Chore task. Chore task.
So
Got a job.
it's an app for, I believe, for doing kind of like how there's delivery stuff that people are like, hey, can you pick this up for me? Grubhub sort of thing. But instead it's for chores, I'm guessing. See, my relatives just call that by a different name. The app is called Contact Kids and Grandkids. It's a very effective solution, honestly. Yep, exactly. We'll hope it goes well. It's a clever idea. Of course, as always, the AI always grates on me a bit, but that's also because it's me. But overall, I think the idea is pretty clever. I also love that. Let's see here. Where was that here? No, we always got the cameos here. Got Wolfie cameo. Wait a minute. What? Oh, for a second there, I thought he had a piercing in the nose because of how it was highlighted. But anyway, got the Wolfie cameo in there. At first, I thought it was a game with kind of the style that was happening here, of where everything is kind of popping up. And it wasn't until later on I was like, oh, that's what this is. But yeah, hope you find success with it. Have you done your chore test, Jeff? My chores tend to be put it on the to-do list for much later, and then never get to it. There's things from when I moved in that's been on my list of things to do, and I still haven't gotten around to it, and that is my fault. See, for me, I just need to learn to be productive. Trying to launch locally first. Well, there was a guy, two guys that I was actually helping to make advertisements for back in Ohio. It was my very first official commission. It was for a program, an application called Ascend. And Ascend, that was a fun commercial to work on, honestly. I learned so much about animation from that. Ascend was a genius idea at the time, or so I thought. It was designed to be a task optimizer. And it was designed for factories, for restaurants, for businesses. And it was honestly a pretty good idea on paper. What I didn't realize was that it was one of like 100 programs that were being made at that exact time. And the other ones were being made by massive corporations. So these two guys had a good idea, honestly. They were just, it was a tough sell. And so they were starting out in Western Ohio in the Dayton area. And they got like 3 clients. And then the big companies just moved on in. And it's like, ugh. But they gave me my first commission. And I will forever be grateful for that. Trying to get new things started is always, there's going to be a lot of hurdles to have to overcome. And it takes a lot of patience to really see that stuff pan out. And if you have patience, it helps out tremendously. I'm trying to find the channel on Discord. So in this area, what you'd probably end up doing is actually, wait a minute. Do I still have that, right? It is in the alpha pack. It's under support would be decent. That's not like the official one for it. This doesn't happen very often, as you can tell. I would put it probably under support a friend or a stream. We've done that for a variety of different things. There's some people that do self-promotion in there. Right now, it's only limited to the people that are wolves, which I do believe you are that. Don't remember. Yeah, you're in the clear for that. So you're able to share that on there, no problem. All right, let's get those fins out of the soil. How do I do this one? If I remember right, it's these arrows that actually I need to focus on. Which is, oh, there we go. Because one of them's not selectable, I think. Nope, never mind. There we go. Okay, disregard. That was not what I needed to do for that. Oh, nope, it is. It is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move the arrows up. And move these arrows back. Okay, fine. You know what? That's not going to work. Let's go about this the other way. Oh, there you go. Now it posts. Perfect. Why is this one not working? I think it's not pointing. Oh, that's it. It wasn't pointing towards that point. Okay, so now we want them to rise up a bit from the ground. Ah, yeah. All right. Posted a music video separate just for the fun on that one. Very nice. So let's grab these two ones. As he's right here, we're going to key that. And then he comes back down right there. And these move up with him just ever so slightly. And now we're going to shift this over 2 frames. And we're going to bring it down faster right here. and it's going to overshoot. So let's move them down and move them on in like this. So it's not going to look great from the side, but it will look better from right there. Now we can move this on over. 1, 2. And move that hole back. Did you see any other animals on that trip? Well, we saw, I believe they were called white-chested geese, but their chests weren't white. Kind of weird. We saw great trumpeter swans. Saw snow buntings. They're a small little bird that's white and black. They are kind of like the sparrows of the Arctic. They are cute birds. Saw one Jaeger, I believe. And then, what else was there? Saw the rare and wild Alaskan husky. It's actually kind of hard to find people actually that have sled dogs. And there were actually sled dogs out that day. So, yeah, that was pretty neat. One of the things that you don't really hear a whole lot about is that the dogs don't usually make it through the winter. I won't go into the reasons why, but we'll just put it like that. A lot of times they don't. And there's rescue agencies that are set up to try and get the dogs out of the villages before winter sets in. All right, that's looking a little bit better than just it being static. And just clip in and out of the floor a little bit. Let's see, right here. I think I can fix that by just pulling these back on in. There we go. So now something glitched right there. Okay, right there. That's the problem. So we want to grab each of these individually. This one right here can go. Wait a second. Oh, it wasn't that. It was this. Grab that. By the way, I got to talk with some actual animators in the industry a couple of years ago. I was just getting started. I had shown the snowball animation that I had done, and one of the people there actually said that they were a legit animator. And I looked into their portfolio after the stream, and it was a little discouraging to see. This has been some time ago, so nobody would know who it was. Somebody came in and was showing off their demo reel, and they mentioned that they felt like a little bit of an imposter because they had this position. And I looked at their animation, and it was painful to see, because this guy was working in the industry and he had nothing to show for it. I don't have a whole lot to show for it. I do know that. But at least I'm trying to, get better at it. I've not quit. This guy was trying to quit the industry. And he had it all. So he basically took the opportunity from somebody else and made it to where they weren't going to ever get that chance. I remember when I was trying to get jobs after college and it didn't go so well. Nobody would respond. And so I never got a chance to figure out how to do it on a professional scale. And thus, my skills plateaued. I was like increasing in skill, and then it all just disappeared. So, was that a good thing or was that a bad thing? Depends on how you look at it. It was a good thing because I found out that Hollywood and even animation studios destroy their artists. So I was spared that. But I also was robbed of the opportunity to get into the industry and find a way to actually start building up a reputation. I missed out on that. So it was a pro and it was a con. I wonder what this is going to look like right there if we render this with motion blur. Where's the motion blur? By the way, this is not what it's going to look like. This is the this is before all the lighting and set elements are going to be in there. This is just the this is just the sample of the character rig. All right, let's increase the shutter. And let's go to number 2 and change this around a little bit. Samples, put it to 50. But anyway, so this person showed up to the stream and they mentioned about being an imposter, how they'd been in the industry for so long, and that they were basically going to call it quits. And I'm not somebody who likes to call it quits on anything. I'll put things on delay. Absolutely, I'll put things on delay, but I hate canceling something, just saying, that's it, no more. I hate quitting as a whole because it is that sense of that, what was the point of it all? That motion blur is a little bit better. And when it's shaking back and forth, I think it'll turn out well. I think I need to fix these fins, though. Those are really starting to irk me now. But anyway, it is something where I am looking at the industry and realizing just how many people really don't care. And there's something to be said for perseverance. But there's something else at play. It's something we've mentioned about multiple times on these streams. Hope. If you have hope for the future, you're willing to strive for it. You're willing to fight for it. You're willing to do what you can to try and learn, to improve, because you believe there's going to be a payoff somehow, some way, someday, even if it doesn't really feel like it ever comes. All right, what is this one called here? Fin Arm 2. We paint. Fin Arm R2. And 1 is good. I think that was all that really needed to happen there. I think this one mirrored it. No, it didn't. Okay. Oh, it did mirror it. Okay, so I got to turn off mirroring. Now we're going to come over to Fin L2 and add that. But anyway, hope. How do you kindle hope if you don't find success? At what point do you say, well, it's just not meant to be? I'll tell you, I've felt that many a time. It doesn't get easier the older you get. If anything, it gets more, it eats at you more. But at least when you get older, you start to understand, you know, there was a point to these things. But in your youth, it really doesn't feel like it. But the worst thing we can do is when we lose heart to pass that pain onto someone else. I think that's the most disgusting thing I've seen. One of them. Man, life is terrible. Life sucks. And you know what? I'm going to tell everyone else that it sucks. Great. You just made your pain someone else's. Couldn't you have maybe learned from it, shown a little bit of kindness, help end the cycle rather than spur it on to another generation? Seems pretty clear. Misery loves company, as they say. Exactly. Sandra Bullock taught me that hope floats. Uh-huh. Yeah, hope. It's very easy to lose hope. Okay, I think the rotation needs to go faster. Not the motion, but the... Oh, that's what's going on. Oh. Okay, let's try this now. And then we grab these. And what's the final rotation? It's going to be that one right there. Extend the one out. Then move this one over. There, now it's looking better. I was looking for it after motion of some kind, and that fits the bill. By the way, it turns out a lot of people will spend 2 weeks on one shot to animate. And after doing some animations myself, I kind of understand why. Very smooth, well done. Much appreciated. Although smooth's not what I was looking for. No, actually it was. There are some times where you want it to be jittery, like with this sneeze there. Actually, may make it even more exaggerated later on. But I think that this shot right here is basically done, which it took way too long to do the shot. But, you know, not everything's going to be easy. Okay, so now that that's one done, that one's done. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go over to Workbench, and we are going to then render out this scene because with Workbench, it helps out tremendously. We're going to go over to shot one. I forgot to isolate them in iterations. Oh, well, we're going to do that now. Shot version 1.1. Okay, so shot 1, version 1.1. A lot of ones right now. And what is the range on that? Episode 1, shot 1. 0 to 560. Okay, while this renders, I'm going to get myself something to drink. And I will be right back because it won't take very long to render this. While that is happening, I'm going to pull up my notes for how the summer is going to unfold. All right, so the number one thing on the list is Milo and the Demon Bear. 5 parts for series. Okay. Fish animation. Gotta break this down into shot 1. Yes, back on my... I never stopped, technically. It just was happening behind the scenes. Kabang! The story is just about finished for the rough draft. I'm trying to stitch some of the elements together that were not so easily done. I like the story. The story is going to be interesting. Some people are probably going to love it. Others, I can guarantee some people are going to hate it. Okay, I'm not going to pretend like everybody in the world's going to love the story. I know how people think. And let's just say it's going to step on one set of toes that I'm not really wanting to, but based upon the history and the subject, it kind of is going to happen. So just be forewarned. Any tips on writing? I'm practicing my grammar and stuff. There is a very effective way to practice your writing. It is to take your grammar book, hold it out from you about at arm's length and then drop it. It will land into the fire, and from the fire, it will then serve as kindling, in which you can be able to read your writings by the fire. Oh, and also keep you warm for writing on those cold nights. I hate grammar. But it is something where it is beneficial to know all the same. I will say that. My tip is something I've learned on my own. It is to write the different elements and how they connect first. Dropping the hammer on grammar. Yes, indeed. It is to write the elements that are supposed to be connected early. Let me give an example here, okay? Let us have a very short story here. Let's see here. We want to have, let's go with the fish because the fish is in the background. Fish, we're going to call him Dave. Dave the fish. No, it's not his name, but we're going with that for right now. All right. Grammar, what's that? Says Bastion. Greetings, Bastion. Art, let's go. Yes, indeed. We're rendering stuff in the back. Oh, it's already finished. But we're doing a quick detour on writing techniques. So we have Dave. Dave is scared of the air. And we want to then show why this matters. So I'm looking around, I'm thinking, okay, I want this fish Dave. Dave is going to be scared of the air. Why is he scared of the air? Oh, I got an idea. Because Dave has overcomes his fear of the air to save his friend. Okay, that's how it's going to end. The middle, Dave becomes trapped on a boat and let's see here. Freaks out as he's trapped in the air. Okay, so now we have three elements to the story. Now I have the general plot for this story arc. And then I can come back in. Dave was scared of the air. His friend, George, looked at Dave and said, "Look at me." George leapt. Come on. Out of the water and splashed back into the surf. Dave looked and trembled because he was afraid for his friend's safety. So notice what we've just done here. Because we had the three different elements, which we're going to show by doing this, we're able to then start to figure out what the in-betweens are. So for Milo, what I did was I figured out some of the main points and started to generate them in this sort of way. I figured out, okay, what needs to happen based upon different points of the story. Then I wrote them all out. And then I went back and thought, okay, well, let's add this. We're going to add in a side arc to the story. And then I can be able to continue from there, adding in different elements that carry on the same sort of structure. Then I can move it about. But notice what I just did. I made it so that no matter what happens to the story in between, the three main elements of the story are still here. That's my writing style. It's one of the reasons why it takes me so long, because I'm trying to figure out how to weave all these different things together. And it's going to be better stuff than hearing about a silly fish named Dave. I hope. Anyway, this render is done. So now let's move on to the next phase of this. This helped me out, says Rico, as it gives a great big thumbs up. Indeed. Much appreciated. Okay, so now we come over to Video Editor. And we're going to... Oh, that's right. I was also going to update the animation timing. Oh, well, that will happen next time. For the next time I do this. I'm going to come in here, import in that sequence so we can see what that looks like as it currently stands with the sequence. By the way, folks, this is going to be standard again. I put art and animation on the back burner for a long, long time. It's not because I wanted it to be that way, but I just was spent over this last couple of months. A lot more so than I have been in past years. And a lot of stuff has been going on, and thankfully that is at the rear right now. And I can look forward into the summer and start planning out a lot of stuff. I've been working quite a few hours on projects behind the scenes. And so, for example, last night I was animating on this, just not on stream. The night beforehand, I was writing on Milo. And there's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing like that. So I am going to stream some of it, and others I'm not going to stream, because it's about trying to make sure that these things get finished, and I want to make sure to be focused on getting the items out first and foremost, because you can hear me ramble anytime. And then, of course, I get glitches like this. Something's not trying to update in the background again, is it? There we go. The video editor is a little slow on Windows 11. Windows 10 was actually a lot faster. So I'm pretty sure that this is specific just to Windows 11. By the way, again, this video editor inside of Blender is so useful. It used to be an absolute nightmare to have to try and keep editing and going around different software to just preview your animation. And now it's all inside the program. It is fantastic. All right, wonderful. That one is good. So now that gives me a bit of a baseline. Of course, it's lagging again. Okay. Sad it doesn't have good audio editing yet. That is indeed true. I really wish there was a good audio editor. There is not. Audacity is the only thing out there that is a decent editor. But it's, when they say decent, what they really mean to say is awful. It could be an incredible software, but they're not doing it yet. So right now, the best way to edit audio is DaVinci Resolve. It has become my audio editor, despite being primarily for video. Okay, so right here, he sneezes, and then the shadow's going to come in afterwards. The shadow shouldn't be on top of him right at that moment. It's going to come in right here, and then we're going to have another shot. And this one's going to be one that's done later on, where it's actually going to show the hook and the worm. And they're just going to be these tan blobs off to the side, which you're just going to see as fingers, and they're going to be working with the hook. But anyway, so the worm gets put on, and then we come back down here, and it's like, oh, okay. And then right down here, the worm's going to plop. Actually, that might be the part that's worth doing next, trying to get the worm squared away. Because I do have a worm rig. It's not very good, and I want to refine it a little bit because the worm's going to have more of a role in this. So let's see here. Where is that worm? Is down here. All right, so where is that located? Okay, fish line. Yeah, he should not be on there. That's ridiculous. So we're going to duplicate that. And then we are going to I wonder if you can do that in here. We're going to try and do something a little different. We're going to call this worm rig. I've not done this before in this manner. Let's see here. I want to then link to scene worm rig. Then we're going to grab him and get rid of any constraints. Clear parent, and then clear parent. Okay. Put that back at ground zero. All right, gonna hit the sack. Thanks for the tip. Rest well, Rico. Thanks for coming by. And we'll see you next time, whenever that is. Continue to press on, sir. Hope the work goes well. Hope the family is happy. And we will chat with you later. You know, I kind of have a... when I was just getting started in the world of media, I got to do a commercial in which I had to help out with, I was tasked with making a bug extermination video, audio advertisement. And so I had a
high little pitched voice for the little bugs. And then they were screaming as the pesticide came down upon them.
And I thought about doing something similar for this, but I think I'll just have him quivering and not much else. Why is he way over there? Oh, that's why. Delete keyframes. Just got myself an auto rig. Just got myself Auto Rig Pro yesterday. You have any opinion of it? No. No opinion because I knew that it existed. I've just not done anything with it. Not for or against it. Okay, so now we're going to make this thing an actual rig. And that means we have to then move this off to the side. This is going to be a reference. One thing I've always been a fan of, though, is doing things for yourself, especially early on. I have like 20 days left on the Quad Remesh Trial 2. Now, I have heard things about that, but I also have not used that. I'm very cheap when it comes to this stuff. I'll buy good equipment like this. I won't buy it for for Blender, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm a nobody when it comes to animation. That might be might be my own fault there. But anyway, I'm a big fan of people learning how to do things along the way. And if it's something where you can do it and learn from it and not be hindered, then by all means, it can be a great tool. Maybe not for characters, but objects or weird hair. It's awesome. Dandy. I hope it is successful for you. All right, let's see here. I think that's probably going to be good enough for the worm scale. Actually, wait a second here. How's the worm going to function here? I have not done many snake characters, but I have done tails and whatnot, and I cannot stand them. They're so difficult. All right, so the worm's going to have to be able to look around with his head. He's going to have to be able to move his shoulders, so to speak, back and forth. Kind of like a snake, and then wriggle up. So that's going to be a lot of bones. But the question is, where are the breaks? So how would this happen? I want it to be where there's like general controls for it. You can grab it and you can move it about, but then you have like a fine-tuning system that's underneath. I've done something like this before, but it was so utterly complex that I never wanted to do it again. But what if I was to do something a little bit simpler? Let's see, have a longer tail. And what if we grab these bones? And then turn off deform. That one was already, okay, there we go. Copy to selected. All right, so now these ones do not move the worm. Let's go over to, let's give a control for this, control mesh. We're going to make it a box. Move up 1. I think it may be moved in the wrong, oh yeah, I did move it in the wrong direction. Move it along Y, 1. Okay, now move that off to the side. Now we want wireframe. Come in here, grab these bones. We're going to change this to viewport, change it to custom object, grab that, and copy to select. Now, there we go. So now we have basically a perfect cage for us for each bone group. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to have it to where there are chains within here that are going to be a spline. No, I don't know how to do that one. Let's start off just by posing this thing. All right, so we're going to pose, and we're going to turn off the wireframe for right now. We just want to see how this thing's posing. So we have the head, we have the body. Kind of like that. Okay, wonderful. Very worm-like. And then we do have the ability to... Nope. Okay, move this guy over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have this... So this is going to be the master. So wherever this bone goes, the others will have to follow. So we're going to come over here, copy transforms, copy that, and that. Copy to select. Wonderful. And we want to have it follow the other side over here. There we go. Nope, that's wrong. We want to instead have it copy location. That was what I wanted. So driver driven and copy a location. Driver driven. Copy location. There we go. So now we can be able to position him. Let's imagine this green is the fish line that he's on. He can then be wrapped around this fish line, kind of like so. Wonderful. Okay. So now we need another control. We're going to do an IK. That's what it's going to be. All right, so new plan with this. Clear the rotation on that. We're going to add another one of these. Move it right up here. And another one right here. And then Rotate this 90 degrees. Here we go. Increase the size. There. Now we know what that one is. All right, so driver driven. We're going to, oof. Nope. Nope, we're not going to do that just yet. Going to separate that. There we go. This one is going to be parented to here, so copy transforms. And then this one over here is going to be copy rotation, I think. No. It's going to be driver driven, copy location. There we go. And grab it to there. So this way, we still have the ability to do this, but it doesn't move necessarily like that. So now we have here and here. We're going to do an IK right there. Increase the chain 2. Look at that. It's a worm. You can dance back and forth as worms do. And he still can point his head. Wonderful. Isn't that cute? But I still am not too keen on that. Instead, I kind of want it to stretch so that way I can do something more interesting with that. So let's turn off the copy location. Instead, let's have driver driven, and we're going to stretch 2. We are going to then, what is it? Reset that? No. There we go. But that's going to happen after the IK. So, there we go. All right, that's acting a little weird. It's not supposed to happen. Let's decrease that, see if that fixes it. A little bit. Maybe not ideal, but at least it does the job. And then we're going to have this as the pole. Come over to IK. We want to have the pole right there. Wonderful. We'll adjust that later on. So that's indeed an intriguing sort of structure here. I'm not sure I'm too keen with it, but it's better than some other options. The tail's not really going to move a whole lot, and will curl a little bit, but for the most part, it's going to be kind of like that. So he's going to be right there. He's going to be moving around like with his head like that. Okay, wonderful. And now let's go in and let's try and subdivide this. Let's see what happens. Okay, we want this to have those instead. Then we get rid of it over here. Then we increase the chain. Why is that not working? Okay, when it comes down like this, now it wants to work. Oh, is the chain just too long? Yeah, it was too long. Okay. So now we have our snaky snake. I mean, worm. Going to come over here and we're going to key that. Come back here and we are going to clear rotations. And we're also going to clear transforms. Let us grab this and... After we do this portion, we'll swap the stream over to the games. All right. And it won't be too terribly long, but it will be something. And part of it is just trying to get into the habit of it, see like where people kind of lean to. I really do think that there's more people that really do like the art and whatnot and the animation, but there's a lot of folks that also do prefer the other stuff as well. So I always want to make sure that I'm like serving the people that are the regulars. Also, besides the fact I have to go out and get those sprite characters that are out there. Okay, now we can extrude this little critter's body up. This weekend, I have a lot of various projects I'm going to be working on. In relation to all the various things that I've been working on behind the scenes. This weekend, I'm going to start getting prepared the JavaScript game again. Start dusting off the project files and make sure that they're operational again. I'm going to carry on working on this animation for the week, and then we're going to be on to the Milo art next week. Okay, so now we're just doing a very quick test with this because we want to see how it is functioning. And then we'll do like the actual design for the worm next time, because we've gone on for an hour and a half, which is the time frame that initially I was looking to try and do. And actually, we're going to be spot on for time. All right, let's grab this and this. We're going to turn off their deform. Copy to selected. And now, grab this and grab that. Other way around. Automatic weights. Wonderful. All right, let's grab that. And, oh, that didn't work. What went wrong? Oh, that's what's going on. Yep. Okay. I forgot I turned off all the deforms because I wasn't really expecting to use these ones. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here, and then automatic weights. Look at that high quality character. Yeah, it's amazing. No, it's not, but it is tolerable. What is happening there is because of the stretch. This one is not supposed to deform. There we go. All right, the worm concept is probably not going to completely work, but you know what? I have to think about this one. So I'm going to sleep on this one and tackle this again next time. So I'm going to save the project and I'm going to get the game up and operational. I will be back within a few moments. So, all right. And then we're going to be talking about something that has been weighing on my mind. And it has to do with hope. So we will talk about that when we're up and operational. Alrighty. So hope. There's a lot of people in this world that thrive off of stealing your hope. A lot of people that look at you and say, you know, they seem too happy. Let's cause them to grieve a little bit. I think there's a lot of big companies that are doing that. I think there's a lot of people, normal, everyday people that are doing that. I think it's far more folks than we would like to admit. And it comes in different forms. It comes in terms of the media we consume, in terms of like movies or music. It comes with the way that you interact with your neighbor. There's a lot of different places that it comes from. But there is one thing in common. Each of them have some sort of darkness about them. They either have something that's spiritually dark or morally dark, which kind of is one and the same for the most part. That was a little too close. That shotgun is not good. I think someone's on the roof. That would be a bot. So what do you do when somebody comes along and decides that this is the perfect time to try and take your hope? Well, one of the things you can do is you can cut off ties with that person. Cut off ties with that entity, with that organization. But there's one thing you definitely should not do, and that is embrace it. Lean into it. Share it. Darn it. I should have not done that. And by the way, we're not going to go on for too terribly long tonight. We started earlier, we're going to end early. I just got to get through my thought for the evening before we kind of like wrap things up. Oh, wait, forgot to equip a sprite there. Let's see here. Let's go with the water guy. I like the little water guy. Equip. Oh, there we go. Better. So, one of the areas that this really seemed to come into play in recent days for myself was there were some people that I was talking with where they were embracing their bitterness, embracing their pain. And as they were going about doing that, they were trying to get more people interested in kind of participating in their pain. They would look around, and if they weren't kind of embracing their pain, well, then they weren't really worth having around. But if you're somebody that's in a place of pain, the last thing you need is more people there to tell you about your pain. There was a student who I went to college with who was the epitome of this. She had a very tough childhood, very tough, but she also had very loving relatives. And one day she was ranting and raving about how terrible and how painful life was. And somebody could have very easily seen that the bitterness was not about, could have easily been overlooked, could have easily been resolved. But this person has spent so much time living in bitterness, being told by others to live in bitterness, that kind of became all that they knew. Unfortunately, it destroyed much of their college career. Made it very tough for them to thrive, to move on. And it just was a never-ending cycle of trying to embrace that pain over and over and over again. Eventually, I turned around one day and said, "That's ridiculous. Your relatives love you. Why are you so bitter?" Not quite that, but if you've heard the story before, you know what I was saying. But anyway, the person was left baffled, didn't really know how to respond. And thankfully, their life started to turn around. They were thinking about, like, what was it they were doing, who they were harming in their anger, in their bitterness. And it really became obvious that it was no one else that was suffering than themselves. But in order to justify their pain, it was turned on others. And that's what made things even more problematic. Oh, that freak. Like I said, that freak. I cannot stand that character. Where do I go for this? Oh, that's at the... Oh, there it is. A bit further away than I was expecting. So always look in the mirror when you are full of bitterness and start asking yourself, things may be bad, but are you making things worse by dwelling on it constantly? I think I was pretty low in health there. All right, vault. Have you been playing it since the start? I played it once. My PC couldn't run it. I've been doing it since I started working with YouTubers. And I keep doing it in order to stay on top of it, and for, you know, whenever I am playing with them, or as a way to interact with folks. Uh-oh. That's not good. I wasted that. Last. Oh well. Not very good. So, a couple of years ago, there was I was told by somebody that in order to really participate in their community, I needed to play this game. I hated this game at the time. It was obnoxious. It was very stupid. And this guy's demonstrating how stupid it is. I mean, just look at that. You'd look at that as a professional gamer. You're like, that's stupid. I never want to see that again. But it was a big part of the internet about 4 years ago, 4 years ago. And ever since then, it's been on a downward trajectory. And so it's not something where it's probably going to be part of a lot of these streams in the next couple of months. I think we're kind of nearing the end for it in a couple ways. But there's still a couple communities that I participate in that still do this game as a very regular part of their streams. And so that's why this is probably that year where things are going to stop working here. I used to do a lot of games on stream. Now it's just this. What's up with the jelly bean backpacks? That's those are the sprites, and right now that's one of the reasons why you kind of gotta do this right now and try and get ahead of some of this, so you can be able to participate in some of the events that are happening and have the collection. They are collectibles. It's the first time that the game has really done this. Some people are happy about it. Some people are not so happy about it. I'm kind of impartial to it. I just want my hammer back. Oh, look at that. You had this fella. Another green little fella with a wooden mask. So right now you got to collect them, and then you take them to extraction points in order to get them out of this area. And then you get to keep them. So that blue item that I just picked up came about because I had this little green guy on my backpack, as my backpack. He increases the chance of things being really high powered. Oh, you always gotta watch out for the double team or the triple team or whatever it is. Ooh, you're new. Demon spirit. Oh, a demon. We don't want demons around here. I'm gonna have to get rid of you. Let's see here. I need to find an extraction point at this point. And it is right over there. Time to get rid of these jelly bellies. It's time, my little friends, to leave this planet. That was not the button I was looking to do. No, stop it. Stop it. I meant to do
This, yes. It's time for you to be leaving this planet, my little green friend. You and your little demon character, too. You're gonna be getting out of this place. You're gonna be nice and safe back at the lobby, and I'll never have to see your ugly face again. Here comes your spaceship. It's taking a long time. There we go. Look at that.
Okay, here we go. Place these guys in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now get out of here. Yes, bye-bye. Success. That's a good demon, don't worry. You think that's a good demon? That's a problem. You gotta always watch out for them. They like to pretend like they're good, and then suddenly they reveal themselves to be evil. Oh, look at your little buddies that you gave me. How nice. Hello, little buddy. He shouldn't have done that. That was pretty dangerous. He could have gotten himself hurt. I think he did get himself hurt. I could have gotten myself hurt. Grab this little vault key. Grab that. Oh, look at this nice and fanciness. Yes, indeed. Very nice. Okay, grab these, and what the heck? Oh, another audio thing. Well, guess where we're going to be putting you? We're going to be putting you in here. Call in another...
Call in another spaceship. We need to get these little beans out of here. Somehow they're important. I'm not entirely sure why or how. Don't worry, you little bean baboons. You will be home safe. That's all we're doing around here. We're not using you. We're just extracting you. Where you'll be turned into pudding and then used for like this dust to make more of your little sprite friends. Yes. Oof.
There we go. Wonderful. Get them out of here. That thing sure doesn't stay here for very long, which is probably for the best because then, you know, people can't steal them and whatnot. You can have a couple of the same ones. How do they work? So the more that you have of the same item, the more that you can be able to extract them and turn them into a higher level later on or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how. If Bastion was here, I would be asking him that question. Because he is the one who's a little bit better read on that than me. Blub, 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 blub. Okay, so now where does this key go? Are you kidding? It's all the way over there. I don't think that's worth it. Why would it be worth it? It's pointless. Absolute waste of time. Okay, we're heading on over there. No. Stay back. I have a suitcase. You brain rot character. Die, you wood. Yep, that is indeed dead wood. Can I pick you back up? Yes, wonderful. He should have known better. You don't have a tree. Come and try and take out a wolf. The wolf gets to chew on the sticks, not the stick chew on the wolf. One of the things that I did early on, though, for a lot of the streams was I was working with a lot of folks that were did this game only. Like nothing else was they did absolutely no other streams other than this and well, okay, correction, this and Mario Kart. And the folks had fun with it initially, and then the bitterness set in, the anger of like things not going well, and you know, just making them more and more infuriated as that went on. Where do you go? I heard you for a moment. I heard him. Was that Tung Sahur? No way! I have no idea who that is. So all I will say is, way. Well, today was pretty productive with the animation. Got one scene mostly finalized, and that will now serve as the template for how far to go with the other ones. I think I'll be able to get a shot a day figured out, and I'm going to be dedicating a lot of time this. Oh, he's here. Ho, ho, ho. Beware the wolf. What the heck? Oh, you are high leveled. Okay, I gotta extract this. You didn't have any boots, did you? Nope. This is not good. Okay, I gotta... This is not good at all. How do I get this one out of here? Wait, are you just a fire one? A dude from Italian Brain Rot. Ugh. Brain rot. Brain rot's very bad for your brain. Oh, that's the wrong one. Drink delicious water. Okay. Save the rest of it. Come on down. We got to get this little buddy out of here.
You will await me on my ship. We must get these little sprites out of here. No more delays. I'm sending my own personal shuttle. It is wingless, looks like a coffin. You don't know the power of the sprites. Alright, get out of here.
Another one has been saved. Something like that. Okay. New one added to the collection, so it was new. Oh, I feel so special. Yeah, no, I don't know anything about the brain rot stuff. I have intentionally avoided it for the most part, and the parts that I was introduced to of brain rot, I regret ever seeing. Dang, well, at least I got the guy out of here. That was all that really mattered. All right, return to the lobby. Let's look at what this guy was. It's like collecting Pokemon. Please rate how much you agree or disagree with the statement. The game shown to me in Discover matches is what I enjoy playing. Neutral. All right, let's look at the sprites. Oh, look at that. Galaxy Fire sprite. Yes, he is very well known around the planets as being a very special sort of character. He's very angry, though. You don't really want to mess with the sprite. He's very, very mean. Fiery burst when dealing damage to the enemy. So it basically is this one, just in a different form. What's worse, end guns or triangles? That's a very good question. That's one that's very much up for debate. I'm more inclined to think that the ones that are, let's see here, who do I want to go with? Let's get this guy out here. This one's the most important. Equip it. Yes! Sweet dreams. Okay, he's equipped. Good. So this will be the last round here. Then we'll wrap things up. Yeah, earlier stream. Shorter stream, like I said. But, you know, at least we started with the animation and we went for an hour and a half. And then we did an hour of this. Well, we'll have done an hour of this. I am personally of the opinion that triangles are worse than N-Gons. That used to not always be the case, but the pull effect that happens with triangles is very frustrating, and N-Gons will help to soften it a little bit. N-Gons still get turned into triangles, but mathematically it is calculated differently, at least in terms of rendering. There was a man that I was trying to convey, like, how polygons work. And I find that stuff fascinating. I love learning about that sort of stuff. But what I learned from this guy is that there's a lot of folks that hate learning like that. They do not want to know. They don't want to learn. They just want to know the bare bones and just quit. I can't stand that sort of structure. You don't learn, you don't grow, you don't get better. What is that that's behind my gloves? It's like this orange thing. Where'd he go? Oh, there you are. I have 2 more end guns to get rid of, but 0 triangles. Yeah, I'm a fan of quads. Quads is the best thing. But anyway, I was working with this guy trying to help him to understand the benefits of the system of using polygons and different styles, how to connect them, and I found it fascinating. And what I didn't realize is that he was just scowling the whole time. He's like, "I don't care about this. I just want to know how to fix this. Is that it? Can you figure that part out?" It's like, yeah, it's this. And he's like, "That's all I wanted to know." And I didn't teach him anything ever again. I was a little irritated at that sort of response, and like, well, if that's how he wants to see that, then uh-oh. No one saw that. You can't make everyone like what you do. And I did find out that I am pretty good at persuading people to kind of buy into the dream. And what I didn't realize is that just because people buy into the dream doesn't mean they want to participate in the dream. And if they do, it doesn't mean that they have the skills to do it. And that part was a hard one for me to learn. I'm just going away so I can try and find some health in peace. Look at that. That's how you get things at the top of a crane. You just chop it down. Obviously. The bush. What the? Where'd he go? Buddy, where'd he go? Come on back. Okay, gotta go. May the quads be with you. But don't be square with me. Modeling jokes. Golly. Well, see you later, Jersey. Have a pleasant day. Hope you are productive. Get out of here, pigeons. Well, as we start to wrap up here, there's one thing I kind of want to stress again, and that is back to the issue that I was mentioning about earlier. The problem of losing hope. It's very easy to lose hope. It's hard to gain it. Gaining hope, for the most part, does take time and effort. And I think that a lot of folks, when they get discouraged, they expect hope will just appear in a moment. And it doesn't. It takes time. It takes effort. And I don't think that I don't think we do ourselves any favors. Oh, okay, you spit that out. We don't do ourselves any favors when we go out and just assume things are going to fix themselves and that things will get better somehow. But there are times where it does. And then when we see somebody who does have that happen, sometimes we can get a little embittered. Like, why did it work out for them, but not for me? There's many people that I've known in this world that receive tremendous blessings. And I don't see really the folks even knowing what it's like to have things go bad. It's like everything is perfect for them. But it's not necessarily going to be like that. It just appears like that. Dang it. Should not have done that. Oh, well. That's what I get. Turn to the lobby. Too bad I can't get those boots again. Oh, well. I don't know how to get the most out of those characters. Well, we're going to call it there. Thanks, folks, for coming by. We had quite a few folks early on, and then about halfway through the animation, everyone started petering out. And then, so if you are still around, if you're still listening, the last thing I want to say, be the reason this week why somebody starts to become encouraged again, starts to get hope again. It's not easy. It's not guaranteed to really work out. But try and pass that on. Because, man, there are so many people in this world that want to tear it down. And it's so easy to get discouraged. So if you just come along and say something positive, say something of encouragement, maybe, just maybe, that will start to turn their fortunes around. Night, Raquel. Night, Bastion. I will see you all next time, whenever that is. Until then, folks, have a very pleasant evening or morning wherever you are. just a reminder, be civil to one another. And try and encourage someone this week. We will see you next time. Ciao, folks.